All right, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Let me get my slides up. We're going to go ahead and get started. If you are on here live, if you could say hi in the chat, that would be awesome. And if you're watching the replay, go ahead and just type in the comments, hashtag replay, whatever platform you're watching this on. And I'm Cindy Baker. I'm an executive function coach, which means I'm all things productivity. I'm an ADHD specialist. Um, and today we are talking about something that almost everyone I work with struggles with: overloading your schedule. How many of you can relate? And here's the thing, you already know you're doing it. So why does it keep happening? Let's unpack that together because I think this will be really interesting. Most people think that they have a time problem, but what I see over and over again is that it's actually a decision problem. Your brain is making choices based on emotion, pressure, and optimism, not reality. Um, so it's really more of a decision problem. Hang on just a second. Hey, dogs. I'm trying to do Zoom over here. Do you mind? We just adopted a dog. And we already had a dog. So now we have two dogs. And I promise they were sleeping up until I decided to get on Zoom. And now they have come to life and they are arguing over a stuffed alligator. So, anyway, hopefully you can't hear that. But when you plan your day, you're picturing probably anyway, the most focused, disciplined, energetic version of you, not the version of you who gets tired, distracted, interrupted, has dogs fighting in the background, overwhelmed, not that one. And so you're planning based on your best self, not your real self. And we tend to underestimate how long things take. I've talked about this before, especially ADHD people struggle with this. Um, But not just the task itself, but the ramp up time, the interruptions, the mental switching costs. We don't account for that. Um, and you say yes in the moment before actually looking at your calendar, right? It's like a knee-jerk reaction. We just blurt out yes before we really think about what else we have going on, before asking, where would this realistically go? You know, before we check capacity. And when everything feels urgent, your brain goes into reactive mode and you end up stuffing your schedule instead of strategically choosing what matters. And we confuse urgency with importance. You know, sometimes overloading your schedule is actually a way to avoid something harder. This is another thing that I see. Something like maybe making a decision, starting a task, risking failure. And and so we keep ourselves busy and it feels productive, but we're really avoiding something or we're mismanaging emotions in some way. And if your day has no breathing room, it only takes one thing going off track to derail everything. You have to have margin, you know? If you don't, it's guaranteed that you will feel overwhelmed. So overloading your schedule doesn't make you more productive. It creates stress, it lowers follow through, and it keeps you stuck in a cycle of starting and stopping. You know, those are some hidden costs that we don't always think about. So start planning based on how your day actually go, uh, or days actually go, which means that you need to include breaks, interruptions, lower energy periods, because that's realistic. So plan for your real life, not your ideal day. That's uh that's the first thing that needs to change. Even if you just change that, it would make a huge, huge difference. Second, cut your list in half. I know, completely in half. If you wrote down 10 things, you're probably only realistically going to complete 3 to 5 things. So choose those on purpose. Cut your list in half, which is going to be hard at first because you're not used to doing it, but cut your list in half and then really think about focusing on what matters most. It doesn't mean that you're never going to get those other things done, but you have to prioritize. And then number three is a build-in buffer time. So you have to add white space in between tasks. And that's so important because that buffer is what it keeps your day from collapsing. And you have to protect your schedule. Hold on just a minute. Hey, puppy dogs, trying to do Zoom here. Sorry. I don't know if you can hear them, but they're getting kind of loud. But buffer time is white space. You cannot have everything bumping up right next to the next thing. That buffer is what keeps your whole day from collapsing. And number four, use a not now list. Just because something's a good idea doesn't mean it belongs on today's schedule. You can put it somewhere else. I call it a parking lot. I have a little notebook and when something pops in my head, I'll put it there because I can't keep it all in my head. It's going to compete with the things that I need to be doing. So the goal is not to do more. I've said this before, but the goal is to actually finish what matters. And that starts by giving your schedule room to work. So less on your schedule means that you're actually going to get more done, believe it or not. So hopefully this resonated with you. Um, if you're interested in more of a faith-based perspective on this topic and others, I have started a new Substack. It's called Faithful Focus, and it's cindybakercoaching.substack.com. So I'd love to see you over there. There is a free version, but I would encourage you to do the paid. It's only $10 a month because I do live videos and it's content that you can't find anywhere else. It's not the same as this. And so I give you practical tips like I do here, but I also give you a faith-based perspective if that's your jam. So hopefully you'll catch me over there, cindybakercoaching.substack.com. Hope you have a great rest of your Monday, and I'll see you next time. Bye.